Hello again, I am Blunty, and this week I'm having some productivity issues getting my planned videos done. It's annoying, but, not really your problem. But to try and clear out whatever creative or motivational block I'm trying to work past, I want to babble a bit about a game I've been asked a lot about since E3 last week. The game is Destiny 2. As the title of this video probably indicated, so no shocker there. And actually, I want to compare it to Anthem. Again, probably in the title, didn't really need to make that clear, rambling. Anthem itself seems to play a lot like Destiny, at least judging off the sort of 5 minutes or so of very scripted gameplay we actually saw at E3. It's kind of an open-world, team-based MMORPG-inspired action shooter with a big fat slice of loot grinding mixed into the headshottery. And like I said, I was asked about both a lot while I was streaming through E3, about which one I prefer specifically and how I felt about them. And my answer is, well, it's kind of complicated. On the one hand, I expect Destiny 2 will have ironed out and streamlined a lot of what broke me away from the original game in the first place, which I did enjoy, briefly, but couldn't really stick with it as it became an overcomplicated, perplexing mess of what felt like 19 different in-game currencies to unlock all kinds of confusing garbage all over the place, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. And for those gamers who just settle into one game or maybe two games and play them hardcore pretty much every day, sure, that's fine. You'll learn that complexity. It becomes second nature to your gameplay experience, and it grows roots in your own vocabulary, and you start to lose perspective about just how complicated it is to outsiders. To the less than fully dedicated, this complexity seems needless and worse, off-puttingly intimidating. You try and jump into a game, you get confused about exactly what's going on, you shrug, give up, and play something you do enjoy. And the good news is I know Bungie and the gang are already on record as saying they've cleaned a lot of that newbie bewildering crap out to make the game more accessible, more fun, and less esoteric. They're even putting a proper story in the game this time, instead of making people read pretend collector cards called Grimoire cards to work out just what the living hell is going on in the world. Their exact words were something to the effect of, they want more of the game to happen in the game instead of on Reddit. And as is the general rule with RPGs, and shooters for that matter, the sequel is very often vastly more enjoyable, less janky, and offers up more fluid, seamless gameplay experiences than the first one. This is just the nature of the beast. And of course, I get to play it on PC this time round, which for a shooter is always preferred, because mouse and keyboard are simply much better controls for that. There is no argument against it. Plus, on my PC I'll get much higher frame rates, which for a shooter means a smoother, more fluid gameplay, which is always nice and actually makes the game better. So those things alone make me feel encouraged that I may indeed get much more value, more gameplay time, and play it over a longer period than I did the first one, which I think I gave up on altogether after, 7 or 8 weeks or so, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Meanwhile, though, Anthem looks wonderful for a start. It's just gorgeous. And these days, I'm kind of a bit done with the grim, dark, post-apocalyptic, everything's brown and grey and blown to shit and falling apart aesthetic of games like Destiny revel in. Anthem is lush, green, full of life. Its general style, otherwise, is still pretty generic. I mean, there's time enough for that to change, I guess, but for right now, they have no character of their own. They're not instantly recognizable as, this is from Anthem! It could be from any friggin' game with body armor, suit, robot things, exoskeletons, whatever you want to call them. What do they call them in the trailer? Javelins. They call them javelins for some reason, whatever. But I'm very attracted to the extraordinary mobility on show in this game. Walk, run, fly, or dive wherever you like, with no obvious sign, for example, if your flight jets have limited flight time, or a cooldown, or refueling is needed, which means you're going to feel free and uninhibited in your exploration, and I really like that. Just Cause 3 is a game that did that really well. It didn't hold you back from just going whoosh into the world and doing whatever you wanted to do. And we already know the Frostbite engine, which of course this game runs on, works great and is highly optimized, so the game should run really, really nicely on my PC. We still need to learn a lot more about Anthem, though. There's a lot we just have no clue about. What is the gameplay loop like specifically? What are the classes, loot pools, in-game currencies, all that kind of stuff that goes along with this game type? We just don't know enough about it yet. Hell, I don't think we even know if events will be instanced, or like in Destiny, sort of an open world type event where anyone nearby on the server can just pile in for a boss fight or whatever, because I really did enjoy that in particular in Destiny. I thought that worked really well. It made the world feel less kind of video gamey, you're not going into a separate level to do your instance thing. Much less video gamey and more alive. It made the world feel good. The Anthem people haven't even been very specific on the subject of PvP or PvE and how that's compartmentalized, if at all. But all in all, I am more interested in Anthem than I am Destiny 2. It may have something to do with Anthem being more of a mystery, and of course we are naturally attracted to mysteries. We know a lot about Destiny 2 because they've told us a lot about Destiny 2, and we already have the first Destiny game to go on as a point of reference. Meanwhile, Anthem it's vague. But then comes the realization that I actually don't really need to choose, do I? I mean, Destiny 2 comes out this year, in September, while Anthem won't see the light of day at even a beta level until, at the very earliest, this time next year. Currently, it's slated for a third quarter 2018 release. So a question rises now, will Destiny 2 be able to hold on to its player base when Anthem comes out, or will people switch over to Anthem, leaving Destiny with a dwindling player base again? Or will people just wait for Anthem and not bother with Destiny 2 at all? Just avoid it, remembering the stammery, issue-ridden launch of the first one. Of course, in just under a month, on July 18th, and not till August for the PC, which is annoying, we are getting a beta. So I could try it out and see, sort of get a feel for it, see how much it's changed, see if it's more accessible, see if it suits me a little bit better, trying to get a better idea about it. But a slight annoyance there is the need to pre-order the game in order to get a beta key, which of course makes it harder to get a taste. And of course PlayStation are again doing that shitty exclusive items thing for their platform and their platform only, which is crappy for consumers and our freedoms of choice and should not be encouraged even slightly. Screw you, Sony. And that is a screw you, Sony, in addition to the other recent screw you, Sony, their unwillingness to join with the rest of the Minecraft world in cross-system multiplayer. I think Sony, being at the head of the industry, they're falling into some old habits of being dickbags again. Anyway, so stream of consciousness ramble over, and before we get into a Sony rant here, what about you folks? Which game has you more interested? Are you going to be playing the Destiny 2 beta? If so, which platform are you playing on? And if you're choosing PC, did you play the first one on consoles, or are you coming into it cold? I have the original on PlayStation 4. I'd have booted it up to record some gameplay for this video, but I let my PlayStation Plus subscription lapse a few months back, so I couldn't play the game that I own without paying up again for the rental service for their online service. So that's another win for PC, by the way, when it comes to the second one. No monthly fee just to be able to play online. So yeah, what do you reckon, guys? One, or the other, or both, or some third thing? Let me know in the down below area. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty, and we'll catch you next time. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry about the terrible Overwatch gameplay you're forced to watch. I'm brand new to the game. Like, I've literally had it for 3 days. I'm still learning. I'm still learning the characters and the maps and how to play and how to be a useful team member, all that kind of stuff. Should have seen me stream it. It was awful. I feel so ashamed. But still, it's kind of fun. I think I'm liking it.
I'm taking care of you.